What's up, everybody? Chris here, checking in with a channel update of sorts. It's the video for today because we're in kind of a weird spot. Just wanted to kind of spend a moment to talk about some upcoming projects, some videos, the schedule, what's going on, all that jazz. Have to admit, it's a little weird to have no borders around me. It's just me and my quickly filling in beard. Not a big deal. First things first, let's talk about what's going on right now. This weekend, we'll be finishing NBA 2K20. We kind of sped those up because, the championship just happened with the Lakers winning, and it just made more sense to get those out to fill in for the weekends because of another thing that's happening, which we'll get to in a minute. But that was a lot of fun. Being able to play that remotely meant that we played almost as many games this season as we did in the previous seasons combined, because before we were essentially stuck only having a chance to do it when Dave was here, and that meant, a couple times a year usually, because I don't really want to lug all this stuff down to Phoenix. There's, soundboards and wiring and all the microphones, and basically meant that unless Dave was here, we weren't doing it. But I think if the next-gen release of 2K21 is any good, we might give that a look sometime next year. We'll see. As of this moment, the current-gen version of 2K21 definitely does not have enough reason to buy it. It's pretty much a carbon copy of this year. And sure, the coronavirus is part of that, but let's be honest, sports releases are kind of trending that way anyways, where it's like a roster update, a couple tweaks to modes, and then you move on. So why NBA on the weekends? What about anachronism? Well, it's an election year. COVID is still ongoing. So given my line of work, it has been especially busy, and we're even more shorthanded at the newspaper than we have been in the past. So there's many more demands on people. Time is thin. I'm putting in some 65, 70-hour weeks most of the time. So the reality is my side time to write for that, since I run it, has been not where I'd like it to be. And there have certainly been opportunities where I could find a couple hours to sit down and write for it. And the reality is the couple times I've tried, inspiration just hasn't been there. It feels like additional work. So for the time being, we're going to put that off. There are a couple episodes that haven't aired yet that we will fit in at some point. And then we'll come back to finish the fourth leg of the Conatus and then decide what's going on from there. We're in talks among us to see if it's going to be something that somebody else picks up DMing and we continue that way, because I could focus more on the recording and all the other side stuff and just play instead. Or if we truncate the ending, this was coming up to about the halfway point. We'll figure that out in the next few weeks. At the very least, it's going to be put off till after the election. That was going to happen no matter what. And then I'm going to be out of town for a week. So we're looking at mid-November before we have a chance to play that again. We'll see what that means as far as episodes go. For the time being, it just means it's on hiatus. We do intend to continue it. It's not one of those things where it's like, it's a hiatus, but it might stop. Not going to stop. We've come too far not to at least get to some sort of ending. We'll see if that's soon or somewhere long down the road. In its place, because NBA is almost done, we're actually playing FIFA 20. It's going to be a bit of a weird one because some people enjoy our sports playthroughs. Some people are like, what is that? If you're expecting this to be a hardcore soccer sim, I have bad news for you because it is certainly not. I don't want to give too much away because we'll go into it in the first episode, but let's just say some of the rules have been tweaked, and we've put in some custom players, and we're more about trying to have fun and be ludicrous than we are about any sort of simulation on the pitch. Put it that way. I think they're pretty entertaining. We stumbled on this when we were on vacation back over the summer. Just wanted something else to play together while we were down there, and we did a mode very similar to this and had a blast doing it. So hopefully that comes across in the recordings too. Also features the debut of somebody who hasn't been on the channel before. So stay tuned for that. And the big news, the one that majority of you are here for, is Trails of Cold Steel 4. Obviously, we went through all the previous Cold Steel games, including 3 with a playthrough that took about 6 months, end of last year going into this year. That was complicated a bit by COVID hitting, but we still got to the finish line. Here, the game comes out on the 27th. That's a Tuesday. It is, 10 days from today as I make this video? It's coming up just around the corner. And our goal is as follows. We at one point had mentioned doing the soundtracks. I think we're going to do that after 4. Don't have a lot of time in between when we finished Pokemon, which is coming up this week, and that game's release. I don't want to really rush through it because at the very least, we're going to have to break that apart by each game's soundtrack. Otherwise, the videos are going to be way too long. We might have to break it down by discs on each soundtrack. Not entirely sure yet, but we'll get to it. But what we are going to do is watch all of the trailers. That's going to happen on Monday, the 26th. and we'll post that video, just watch them all in succession, talk about our impressions, our thoughts for the game coming up, use that as a way to get kind of excited for the next day's release. And the goal is to actually be live on the 27th. We're going to do maybe the first, I don't know, hour or so of the game. See if we can stream it on YouTube. Let people join us in the chat. If you guys are regulars on here and you've enjoyed watching our content, it's your chance to kind of join and chime in. Obviously, it'll be available in the usual format afterwards if you don't have a chance to tune in because of the timing or whatever. But the hope is that I have a chance next weekend to put it through the paces. I've already built a streaming setup and whatnot. Some of the overlays and things that we've had that are on this screen or other screens are basically meant so that we could be streaming. And I just have to have the chance to test it, which I'm hoping to have next weekend. If everything is good and that's green lit, then we'll be live. I'll announce on the channel for sure when, but sometime in the early evening, maybe 5, maybe 6 p.m. For about that hour. Then we'll stop. We'll record the rest of the week's videos that night so we have them, and then we'll just play it a bunch and do the stuff the regular way. Depending on the feedback, maybe we'll look to do it again in the future. I'm not sure. Maybe for the finale. That'd be kind of cool. The one thing I want to ask you guys, because I know some of you are super mega fans, is I have 4 trailers and 2 openings for the video that's going to post a week from Monday, the 26th. That is the character trailer, the story trailer, the gameplay trailer, and the announcement trailer. And then the 2 openings, the anime style one and the kind of like character portrait one. Those are the 6 videos that I have. It didn't look like I was missing anything there, and those are the ones that have been released in English. Maybe Japan got a couple different ones. I'm not sure. But I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. If I am, please let me know down below in the comments. It's, once again, that's character, gameplay, story, announcement, and opening 1 and 2. Those are the 6 we plan to watch. I know there's a couple of small to medium spoilers in there, but that's okay. A couple of them are not all that surprising. Like, spoiler alert, I already know Estelle's going to show up in 4 because I saw a screenshot that had her, and also at this point it wouldn't make sense for her not to. They've been building to this whole reunion of all the different characters, so like, it's going to happen, let's be honest. Anyways, that's kind of my instructions for you if you're one of our Cold Steel fans, and there's a bunch of you out there. Let me know if I'm on the right track, and then keep Tuesday the 27th circled on your calendar. There's a 90% chance we're going to be live playing the first part of the game and letting you guys chime in the comments and responding as we go. That's the channel update. As usual, thank you for watching. Thanks for hanging in there. We're kind of going through a bit of a rough transition, but election's almost here. The census year is almost over. At some point, we'll get through COVID, and by God, things might actually return to normal. Thanks for watching.